Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball figure unboxing video, and ladies and gentlemen, today we're taking a look at the Beast, Gohan Beast from Dragon Ball Superhero from the Solid Edgeworks line. This is a figure that I have been really looking forward to for a long time now. Obviously, this is the A version because the B version is Ultimate Gohan. I do not have that figure. I may get it at some point, but at the moment, we're satisfied with the GOAT. And I'm also really excited about this guy because at the moment, I think personally, from all of the Gohan Beast prize figures that I have seen, he seems to be the best one. I know that the history box was kind of looking like the best one, and I do want to get that figure, but I think that the face on this one was better, at least for the initial images that I saw. Also, by the way, if you're curious, this is a bit of a weird case with the face, right? Let me turn the light off real quick. The face is supposed to be based off of this scene from Superhero, right? But it's kind of weird because obviously he's just standing there and he does the little smirk and the head tilt. But the Solid Edgeworks line has this thing where the figures are walking forward. So it's a little bit weird because like he's clearly walking forward, right? Like that's how the figure is posed. But he's doing the smirk from when he's standing still. So if it feels a little bit like off in that regard, I could definitely understand. Obviously, I still think it's cool because they're combining a little bit of a reference from the anime with the gimmick of the figure line. But I could definitely understand some people looking at it and going like, wait a minute, he wasn't walking there in that scene in the movie. So, let's go ahead and see how the boy looks. Now, this will actually be a fairly decent sized figure, I think. He should be anyway. He comes in 2 pieces, and let's get him out of the brown box. Whoo! Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Mr. Beast. Wait a minute. Let's go ahead and get him out. So first of all, the legs, right? Mr. Beast, bro. Okay, so cool. This guy does not have a peg on the bottom, as you can see, right? On his feet. It is just a hole. So that is going to be really cool because you don't have to use the base. I mean, I'm sure he'll probably need it to stand. This is the weirdest base I've ever seen. Speaking of which, what is this thing? I've never seen a foot base like this. Are they innovating the game out here? That's a foot base. Huh. Oh, geez. It's not like soft plastic. It's like hard. I'm usually used to those things being a little bit softer plastic. All right. Let's get the boy out of the packaging. This one, I am very excited to see how he turned out. Now, I will say one thing as I'm opening this guy up, right, that I think it's so weird because there's so many things about this figure that I'm already in love with, and so many things about this figure that I'm already like a little bit like apprehensive about. So first of all, holy cow, the hair is amazing. This sculpt for the Gohan Beast hair, I don't even know if I can like properly describe to you how much joy I feel right now. This is a awesome hair sculpt, dude. They nailed the look of Gohan Beast hair. Absolutely nailed it. I know that there have been quite a few figures where they kind of have the hair different, right? Where it's really interesting. Let me actually show you. Taking a look at this guy compared to the SH Figuarts Gohan Beast, I think it's pretty clear to see that just barely the Solid Edgeworks edges out the SH Figuarts Gohan Beast, right? Both of them have fantastic hair sculpts and are obviously very accurate to the source material, but I think the thing to really like keep just in mind or when looking at these is that the proportions of the spikes and the like almost like puffiness of the hair I think is absolutely perfect on the Solid Edgeworks one. On the SH Figuarts one, it's a little bit more condensed in, like it's kind of like somebody took his hair and like squeezed it a little bit, right? And some of the spikes I feel like are a little bit more like popped out than they should be. It's a little bit more like, I don't know, gradual in the way that it looks like on the Solid Edgeworks one. And I don't think either are bad, but I think this one is just the most accurate to the movie, if I do say so myself. Taking a look at the other side as well, right? I still think that for sure these ones look even more similar, but I think that the Solid Edgeworks Gohan Beast definitely wins out a little bit here. Again, both look very good, but I think it's just those small little details that I'm really looking at that make the big difference. And, you know, especially against the Figure Arts Zero Gohan Beast, right? This hair is not bad, but it's definitely like not even a competition compared to whose hair sculpt is better between these two figures. Like, I think it's pretty clear to see that the Solid Edgeworks one, the spikes are just more like prominent, they're more defined, there's more of them, right? It's not this like kind of a little bit more thinner hair strands, if that makes sense, right? Obviously, the Figure Art Zero one has a lot less spikes to it. And even though it still looks good, I think that the Solid Edgeworks one definitely has the better sculpt. Even on the other side, I think it's so funny with Gohan Beast, for some reason, I swear this side always looks better than the other one when it comes to these figures. But I still think that this one, the sculpt is just better and, you know, more accurate to the movie. Not to mention, again, color, very accurate to how it should look on this one. This one, not so much. And I know that's a little bit more of a stylistic choice for the figure itself, but still. All right. So, his hair looks good, but what about the face? Gohan's face looks good. I think that this is a pretty decent face, right? Taking a look at the original production images, I think it's pretty clear to see that they do look better on those original images. The figure definitely doesn't look bad by any means in the final product, but I still think that those original production images do kind of edge out a little bit. However, I think that the main thing that this guy's really missing when looking at the details of this figure is shading and like a line work on the face, right? Because I think that it looks too like pale, or it's like there's too much like skin color, which I know is kind of funny, but I think it's just hard to see the details of his face and his mouth kind of just like almost meshes into the rest because it's the white. It's ironic because a lot of the time Bandai will put like almost like lipstick on their figures, right, when it comes down to it, and give us like these like black outlines for the mouth, which I really never like when they do. But ironically enough, I almost think that that would have maybe been a really good choice for this particular instance, because I think it would have just worked a little bit better for having the mouth be separated from the rest of the face. This is a really hard figure to put in. Holy moly. Oh my gosh, this is a tight connection. I think I got it in. Let me double check. Yep, okay, we're good. This figure is pretty decently tall as well. Holy moly. Let me tilt the camera a little bit so you can get a better look at like the full scale here. Yeah, this guy is a really good height, honestly. This right here, let's also put the foot base on. This right here is definitely, this is such a weird foot base. I've never seen a foot base like this. I mean, I know the whole gimmick is that he's supposed to be walking. There we go. Oh, that actually works really well. I'm not going to lie. Okay, cool. Yeah, so obviously, right, when it comes to the sculpt overall, I think it looks really, really good. It is pretty simple, but obviously there are some scratch marks and there are some rips and stuff like that in the clothes. Obviously they're tattered on the edges, especially on the sleeves, which is really, really nice to see. Obviously the muscle definition is there, right? I think that the bang as well, which I didn't talk about with the hair, is so good. This huge curly bang looks awesome, if I do say so myself. And I think that, again, this is a prize figure size right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the size of a $27 figure, right? This feels more worth it to me. And man, the angles that you're going to be able to get out of this guy, holy cow. Okay, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons now. Taking a look at this guy next to our usuals, we have the Ichiban Kuji Gotenks and the WCF Goku here. These guys, obviously, in terms of the scale, you can tell that Gohan Beast is king. This guy is a very, very decently sized figure. I feel, personally, that this is just about the size that these prize figures should be sized at if you are going to be pricing them at this $27 range. And if you're wondering why I'm saying that, I'll show you in a second. taking a look. Oh my gosh. Is that approaching 9 inches? Is that right? Let me turn him to the side so that you can see him in the camera there. And you can see his head spikes. It's kind of funny too, because obviously he's on the camera, it almost looks more like 10, but on like IRL, it looks a little bit more like 9. He's a decent sized figure. Obviously, if he wasn't like walking like that and he was standing straight up and down, then he would be a little bit more, you know, like taller too. But of course, that darn hair adds so much height to the figure that, of course, right, like you can't help but be in awe of his presence. Yeah, I think this is like the perfect size, honestly, because if you watched the last video that I put up, you would know that we took a look at this guy, right? This, of course, being the History Box Orange Piccolo. These two figures are the same price, and obviously, look how much more tiny Orange Piccolo is compared to Gohan Beast there, man. That is almost, like, pitiful, to be honest with you. That is, like, just kind of sad, bro. But they do still look really good together, and I'm not gonna lie, having the both of them walk forward like this is actually such a sick little gimmick. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of makes me really want them to make a solid Edgeworks Orange Piccolo, just so that we could have this gimmick of the two of them walking forward. This is kind of funny because it's like the opposite of the movie, right? It's like Gohan went giant instead of Piccolo going giant. But yeah, that's Orange Piccolo for you. Obviously, it's still very, very cool, and I'm sure that you could definitely get some decent display options out of that. The other figure that I wanted to bring out is, of course, the Ultimate Gohan from DXF, right? Obviously, this is a lot smaller of a figure line, but obviously it is still pretty cool seeing Ultimate and Beast together. And I think that these guys do pair pretty well, right? Obviously, you can tell that the scale is not perfect between the two of them. I mean, of course, right? Obviously, one line is a lot smaller than the other. And funny enough, Gohan's a lot more tan on the DXF one now that I'm looking at these two. But yeah, they definitely did a good job still making these superhero figures feel like, excuse me, that you can kind of display them all together and still get some really good displays out of this. You can definitely get some cool shots with the two of these guys together. And, of course, you know for a fact that I had to bring out the big bad Mama Jamma himself. I mean, he was already in the video, so it's like kind of not that big of a surprise, I guess. But the Figure Arts Zero Gohan Beast, right? Obviously, these two figures together, right, look really, really cool. You know your boy's going to be trying to get more Gohan Beast stuff as the years go on. I have ended up with, like, too many Gogeta Blue figures to count. So at this point, I need to fill it out, bro. I need the next movie transformation in my life, okay? I will be copying more Gohan Beast figures as time goes on, but it is really cool to see these guys next to each other on the shelf. It's kind of funny because I will say, in terms of the scale, right, all things considered, I think that the Solid Edgeworks Gohan is a little bit bigger than the Figure Arts Zero one, which is really, really interesting. I mean, they're just about the same, right? I'm thinking that the Figure Arts Zero one might just be a tiny hair bit smaller in terms of the scale, but they're just about there, right? Regardless, though, it is kind of interesting because obviously, right, when we're talking about the pricing between these two figures, Gohan is $27 and the Figure Arts Zero Gohan is $100 to $110. Obviously, that's because of all the effects that you're getting and all that other stuff. But it is interesting to see the difference between these two guys despite the huge price discrepancy. And of course, the sculpt is a lot more detailed on the Figure Arts Zero one. It's a lot more simplistic on the prize figure. But I don't know, man. Like, I might be... Is this a hot take to say that I like the Solid Edgeworks one better? Ooh, I don't know. I think that they are both really, really cool. And obviously, they're both different poses, so it's awesome to have them both. But man, I think that they cooked with this guy. I definitely recommend picking this guy up. If you would like to grab a copy for yourself, of course, links in the description where you can do so. And if you pick him up from the Amazon link, I will get a little bit of a cut with no extra cost to you. So thank you if you do end up getting him from there. And man, if we're talking about the price, This is definitely a figure that I think is worth that $27 price point. This figure is well worth your money. If you're looking for a solid Gohan Beast, it's a decent size to have up on the shelf, a fantastic sculpt, right? A really, really cool pose. This is the one, ladies and gentlemen. As far as I'm concerned, I know this is like not fair to say because I don't have any of the other prize figures at the moment, the DXF one or the solid Ezrex one, the history box one rather. But by golly, this is the best Gohan Beast prize figure. I'm going out on a limb. I'm saying it right now. I'm laying down the law. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy. And I will see you then. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.